Hello everyone, it's me, Tanner Richard Kraft, that's right, with Bomb Squad Productions. Last year I did a top 25 movies of 2021 list, which is a little longer than most people do lists. Most people do top 10s, but I'm the kind of guy that really loves a lot of different things and loves them in a big way, so I wanted to do 25 movies. This year I loved even more movies, so I am here to do a top 30 list. That's right, these are my top 30 movies of 2022. There was a lot to love this year. This was one of the best years of movies in recent memories, at least since 2019. And I'm really excited to count them all down. My personal favorites review, starting with...
When we are born, we are swaddled and snuggled, whispered to Fusto.
The Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Tanner, is that even a movie? And that's a fair point. It's only about 40 minutes long, which, by the Academy's rules, actually makes it a short film. Short film. TV movies are movies, and if this is essentially a TV movie, then I count it as a movie. And it was one of my favorites of the year. James Gunn is really such an incredibly talented writer and director that is perfectly able to blend comedy along with these really great emotional moments, and despite this being a tighter package, he really handles it well, while also getting some pretty crucial exposition out of the way for the next Guardians of the Galaxy movie, but delivering it in a super fun, holiday-themed package. I found it emotional. I thought the music was fantastic. I was particularly a big fan of the Smashing Pumpkins song that they used here. And it's just another great little adventure. I love that Drax and Mantis got a lot of focus here.
Yes, we're looking for the legendary Kevin Bacon.
We're looking for the legendary Kevin Bacon.
I just said that, Drax.
And I'm a sucker for Christmas. What can I say? Christmas movies are everything to me. And I really enjoyed this movie, which is why it's my 30th favorite movie of the year. Emergency is my 29th favorite movie of the year. This one was one that I didn't exactly have a super high amount of expectations for. I saw the trailer and I thought it looked like a fun, interesting premise, comedy with almost certainly some relevant social commentary. But I wasn't expecting what I got, which was something that was incredibly thrilling, incredibly tense, and incredibly funny. Not the funniest movie of the year. We're actually going to go through a lot of comedies this year. This was a great year for movies if you want to laugh. But this one, something about it just really clicked with me, really resonated with me, and I really felt it here, so to say. The performances all around are really incredible. There were a lot of great little gags, and at the core of it, it's a story about friendship and friends and sticking together through the end. And there's something really beautiful about that, I think, that I personally really enjoyed. It's a fantastic, fantastic film. I really liked it. I wish I got to see it in theaters. I only saw it streaming on Amazon after it already left theaters, but I did really enjoy it. And that is why it is my 29th favorite movie of the year. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent is my 28th favorite movie of the year. And I think it goes to show just how strong of a year this was for movies, that this is this low on the list, when I was pretty confident after watching it was going to be in my top 10, maybe top 15 of the year, and here it is, barely scraping in a top 30. This is a very, very, very funny movie. Nick Cage, essentially playing this fictionalized version of himself, is delightfully entertaining. Pedro Pascal is one of my favorite actors in the world, between Wonder Woman 1884, The Mandalorian, and now as of recently The Last of Us. And it's a mile a minute. There's always something funny happening. There's always something engaging happening. There's always something going on that is incredibly engaging, incredibly funny, incredibly entertaining, but at times it's incredibly heartfelt. The ending genuinely got me choked up. Nick Cage finally being able to reconnect with his daughter and be a good father to her was deeply moving, I thought. And I oddly enough, do relate to the idea of a filmmaker down on his luck, or an actor down on his luck, feeling down in the dumps and like he's a has-been. I know I'm only 24, but geez, man, art is hard. But it's an incredibly entertaining, incredibly funny movie, and as a big Nick Cage fan, it really felt like a celebration of him and his career. And I just absolutely adored it, and that is why it is my 28th favorite movie of the year. Weird! The Al Yankovic Story is my 27th favorite movie of the year. Again, back with the comedies and these very funny movies. Oh my god, what a gutbuster. It does tread a lot of the same story that the Dewey Cox story with John C. Reilly did, but most certainly puts its own Weird Al stamp on it, and it's so absurd and over the top, and it feels like it's perfectly parodying what these music biopics have become nowadays. And it does it really successfully, while also being, oddly enough, a kind of good example of a biopic in its own right. Yeah, it's stupid. Yeah, it's over the top. But it kind of works. It kind of works in a way. In a traditional biopic, while also being incredibly funny. We have an entire bonus podcast on this movie, and fun fact, I hadn't seen the movie yet when I recorded that podcast. It's a big gag in it, so now I'm actually able to get my thoughts out on it. It's funny. Daniel Radcliffe is so pitch perfect as Al. Just so pitch perfect. And it's just so funny. It's entertaining. Really, I don't know what more I can say other than if you want to watch a movie that'll make you laugh until your stomach hurts, Weird, the Al Yankovic Story is probably a pretty safe bet. And that is why it is my 27th favorite movie of the year. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is my 26th favorite movie of the year. Again, talking about what a strong year it was for movies, that this is only in 26 on the list, when it quite frankly makes my top 10 MCU movies, and everyone knows how much I love the MCU. So for one of my favorites to only be 26 on the list, I think goes to show just how incredibly strong of a year it was for movies. Benedict Cumberbatch is always great as Doctor Strange. I love Elizabeth Olsen as the Scarlet Witch villain, and I love the big multiversal spanning plot. The cameos are entertaining as a fan, and they don't distract from the movie too much. It looks great. Sam Raimi is back and has never been better. I mean, he has been better. Spider-Man 2 is better, but you know what I mean. I'm glad to see him back. He's great. The movie is great. We have a whole episode of Bomb Squad Movie Night / Bomb Squad Podcast where I elaborate more on my thoughts on this movie. So if you really want to hear me go in depth with that, I recommend you check that out. But this is really just one of the best movies of the year, and it's delightfully entertaining. It's another great classic MCU movie, and that is why it is my 26th favorite movie of the year.
Yeah, I'm a hot girl.
Bodies, Bodies, Bodies is my 25th favorite movie of the year. Crazy how in a year where a movie like Scream, the new Scream movie came out this year, that Bodies, Bodies, Bodies manages to be pretty much the best horror comedy of the year. What a delightfully fun movie, entertaining movie. It is one of the most Zoomer generation movies I have ever seen. It feels so in tune with what people my age and a little younger are kind of talking, what they're kind of into, what they really care about. It's expressed a little differently than the way I express it, of course, but it feels very, very familiar. It is a sort of hyper-modern movie in a way, in the best of ways, too. I think it's great. The performances all around are fantastic. A special shout-out to Rachel Snow in a fantastic supporting performance.
I'm so sorry. That's really serious. Mental health is a really serious issue. I mean, I've never actually said this to anyone, but I have body dysmorphia.
Oh my god, shut the fuck up, Alice.
But the entire cast is perfect. I can't explain enough how much I really enjoy it. The scares are there, the laughs are there. It looks gorgeous. I mean, I don't think I would quite put it in my top 5 for cinematography, but it's close. It's really incredibly gorgeous how this film looks, so I can't recommend it enough. If you haven't had the chance to see it yet, I really recommend you check out Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. And that is why it is my 25th favorite movie of the year. The Woman King is my 24th favorite movie of the year. I remember when I first saw the trailer for this one, I thought it looked good, great. Viola Davis in a action vehicle, that could be really interesting. Oh, look, John Boyega and Lashana Lynch, other actors I really enjoy. And then I saw this movie, and it was one of the best crowd-pleasing blockbusters of the year. It's not often that I watch a movie and audiences clap outside of Marvel movies, and audiences were often clapping in this one. There are just some incredible crowd-pleasing moments that just really get your blood pumping, your adrenaline rushing, and you just get so excited, and you're like, this is what I'm here for! The movies! Yeah! At least is my way of putting it. Viola Davis is, of course, incredible. I really hope to see her get an Oscar nomination for this. When I'm recording this, the Oscar nominations haven't been announced yet, but they will be coming out before this video releases, so I guess I will put a photo here of me either happy or sad, depending on how that turns out. But no, The Woman King, the action is incredible. The production design especially is incredible. It really transports you back to that era of Africa. It looks great. It's acted great. It's written great. And the directing is divine. It's so impeccably well directed. I love it. It's so good. I'm so glad I got to see it in the theater on opening weekend with a big crowd, because that's the way a movie like The Woman King is meant to be seen. And that is why it is my 24th favorite movie of the year. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever is my 23rd favorite movie of the year. I really love that first Black Panther movie. I think it's incredible. I think the CGI is a little weak in parts, but otherwise incredible. And I always thought that Chadwick Boseman is simply amazing as T'Challa. And then we lost him. And that was heartbreaking. That was sad. I considered Chadwick a huge inspiration to me as an actor. And we lost him. And I thought, how are they going to pick up the pieces? How the hell are they going to make Wakanda Forever? How are they going to make a sequel without Chadwick? And they're going to do it by making essentially a feature-length version of the last scene of Furious 7. It's a beautiful tribute to Chadwick, a man gone too soon, while also pushing the franchise forward in a way that's really exciting and real. It's invigorating. It's tragic that we couldn't have a sequel without Chadwick, but Leetta Wright, this was her time to shine, and she nailed it. She did an incredible job. I'm super excited to see her as this new Black Panther in the future. It's still so sad that we lost Chadwick, but I think Ryan Coogler was able to channel that into something incredible. The writing is great, and the direction is great, and all of the little issues I had with the first Black Panther are really resolved here. Yeah, it's long, but I feel it earns its length. It's exciting. It's pretty serious for a Marvel movie. It's more somber than normal, but it's emotionally resonant all the same. I think it's also the fastest a movie has ever made me cry. So Wakanda Forever is a great movie, and if Chadwick's out there somewhere, I hope he liked it too. And that's why it's my 23rd favorite movie of the year. Avatar: The Way of Water is my 22nd favorite movie of the year. That son of a bitch, James Cameron, he fucking did it. What can I say? 13 years, and he has made a follow-up to the first Avatar movie that is better than it in an infinite amount of ways, is just as incredible as a crowd-pleasing blockbuster. It feels like it's playing the greatest hits of him as a director between Terminator, the first Avatar, and Titanic and everything. will be an incredibly exciting movie in its own right. It is one of the best sequels of all time just because it took Avatar, a good blockbuster, and followed it up with The Way of the Water, which is just mind-boggling, all-inspiring, incredible. The entire cast is great, but really James Cameron, I mean, how does he do it? How does he do it? This movie is honestly mostly set up for the future sequels, and yet you don't feel it. It's incredibly exciting and satisfying in its own right because you know what? It's a movie. It is a great goddamn movie. I'm glad to have seen it in IMAX 3D, even if I was a little headache-inducing and maybe made me a little sick. But it's a visual feast, a visual spectacle. It's incredible in every way, and I can't recommend it enough. And that is why it's my 22nd favorite movie of the year. Jackass Forever is my 21st favorite movie of the year. We have a whole podcast episode about this one, so I recommend you check that one out if you really want to see me go in depth about the Jackass franchise. But the stunts are just as disgusting and gnarly as ever. The laughs are just as hard as ever. The new crew members do a great job of adding their own dynamic to this movie, and it feels like it's paying tribute to this Jackass crew and saying goodbye as they go out with one last ride. The movie is a little scary in the sense that you think, Jesus Christ, Johnny Knoxville, you're 50 years old. Please don't die on camera. Nobody dies, of course. They wouldn't release it if they did. It's funny. It's gnarly. The stunts, the laughs, they're all there. They're all great. If you like Jackass, you'll love this, because I like Jackass, and I adored this. And that's why it is my 21st favorite movie of the year. Tony Hawk Until the Wheels Fall Off is my 20th favorite movie of the year. Anyone who knows me knows I love skateboarding culture, and that I especially love the Tony Hawk Pro Skater franchise. It's one of my all-time favorite games franchises, and probably the only game I can confidently say I can probably beat other people in. I'm not very good at video games, but Tony Hawk is, of course, the face of that franchise, and because of that, since I was a kid, I've always had this weird kind of obsession with him. He's always fascinated me. I have an autographed photo with him right up there. I'm not going to reach over and grab it because I'll break something trying to do that, but I'll put a picture of it up here. It's really a beautiful portrait of Tony's life and where he's been to get to this point, where he's come from, how did he get here, what are we doing here. It's the ultimate Tony Hawk movie. It's probably not anything you wouldn't know if you didn't already know the Tony Hawk story, but it's done in such an incredible way with really fantastic gathering of B-roll footage. I can't commend the editing in this enough. It's really incredibly well edited. It made me emotional, and the soundtrack, of course, was great. Tony is honestly one of my heroes, so seeing a whole movie about him and just seeing his life story laid out was special for me, and it's really, really great. It's about the pinnacle of these types of just sort of basic life story type documentaries you can get, and I'm really glad it exists, and that's why it is my 20th favorite movie of the year. The Menu is my 19th favorite movie of the year. I know I said earlier that Bodies, Bodies, Bodies is probably the best horror comedy of the year, but I've seen some people call this a horror comedy. I don't really think the horror's there, but it's definitely a comedy.
What school did you go to?
Brown?
Student loans? No. I'm sorry, you're dying.
And wow, it's very funny, very thought-provoking. It's these last few years, especially since the start of the Biden administration, it's been movies about us versus them. Us being working class folks, them being the rich and powerful, and how these movies like this, and maybe another movie later on my list, sort of eschew the wealthy satirize them in a way that's very satisfying and entertaining. Whoops, my bad on that. Anya Taylor-Joy is incredible. Ralph Fiennes is incredible. They anchored this movie on their shoulders. The rest of the cast, Hong Chow and Nicholas Hoult, are of course great too, but those two lead performances are what really ties the movie together. And it's great. Looks great. The writing is so sharp and fantastic. You can tell that an Adam McKay protege wrote this, because he most certainly, this has McKay's fingerprints on it, kinda. It feels very McKay-ish. And I'm really, really glad to have seen it on a big screen. It's funny, it's thoughtful, maybe a little scary sometimes. For the most part, it's funny and thought-provoking, and that's why it is my 19th favorite movie of the year.
Welcome to my fiesta!
Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is my 18th favorite movie of the year. This one's been getting a lot of hype on Twitter and a lot of backlash because of that hype, oddly enough. I don't know quite what's up with that, but this is really an incredible film in its own right. It's, yes, a sequel to the 2011 film. Yes, a Shrek spinoff. Oh, but DreamWorks has learned so much since then. The animation is new and exciting. It has almost this watercolor aesthetic in parts. The action sequences are incredible. It's very funny. It's so deeply emotional. I cried. I cried hard watching this one. And it really gets me excited to see what the future of Shrek may hold. I don't know what it holds, but it makes me excited for it nevertheless. It's so good. I'm glad I saw it in the theater. Honestly, I'm kind of speechless with it, because it's almost perfect. Obviously, it's not perfect, otherwise it would probably be near the top of my list, but it's so good. I can't wait to see what the future holds for Puss in Boots and Shrek, because if they're anything like this one, oh boy, we're in for some treats. And that's why it's my 18th favorite movie of the year. All Quiet on the Western Front is my 17th favorite movie of the year. I remember when I first saw the stills for this back in like April. I still have never seen a trailer for this movie. And I thought, wow, this looks technically incredible. And then I saw it. And I have seen the original All Quiet on the Western Front, and it is a great movie in its own right, but I do think this one's better. Part of that is helped by the advancements of technology and how we are better able to portray the brutalities of war. And the German perspective on this, the Germans, who are widely considered the quote-unquote bad guys of World War I. Having this be more from their perspective adds a lot of interest in it, because there are actors in the German government that want this war ended because of the brutality of what it's doing. There's people, and they just don't see the point anymore. But really what makes this movie special is the technical craft. Berger, the director, does a simply stupendous job crafting this picture. The cinematography, off the charts great. The production design, incredible. The editing, incredible. The effects work, incredible. The makeup, oh my god. The makeup work here is so divine. I read articles from the makeup artist explaining how they would just try different types of mud just to see what mud would give the best look, best feel, best texture. And I'm sure every movie does that, but this is the first time I've read about that level of dedication before, and it shows. It shows on the screen. When I watched this movie, I thought I was just watching... I was there on the battlefield in World War I, watching people be brutalized, slaughtered. It's a powerful anti-war movie. I wish I got to see it on a big screen, but unfortunately I didn't. But it leaves a mark. It leaves an impact on you. And that is why it is my 17th favorite movie of the year. E.O. is my 16th favorite movie of the year. This was the last addition to my list. I saw it only a couple weeks ago, but it stuck inside me immediately, and it's staying there. It is still sticking with me. It's a largely dialogueless movie. Yes, it is a Polish film, and as someone with some Polish ancestry, I might admit there may be a bit of ancestor pride there, but it definitely stands on its own merits. It's really just a great ride about this donkey that interacts with a lot of different lives and all these little vignettes, these little stories that this donkey happens to cross through, and it's a sort of a beautiful look at the humanity that surrounds all around us. The good, the bad, the everything. Even though it's a movie technically about a donkey, I feel like it's such a portrait of humanity. And a lot of that is accomplished through the simply stunning cinematography. Every shot in this movie is just so gorgeous. And the score. This movie is almost told more through its score than it's told through its camera. Every piece of music, it rings in your ears. It's loud, it's bombastic, it's searing. It's very industrial sounding, and it's to the movie's benefit. This one is hard to describe, but trust me when I say that EO is an incredible film that you won't regret seeing if you're into these sort of slow burn type things, and that is why it is my 16th favorite movie of the year.
Featuring the Platinum Band, and this time we're gonna get funky.
Cha-Cha Real Smooth is my 15th favorite movie of the year. That is right, we are halfway through the list, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Apple had Coda last year. Coda won Best Picture at the Oscars, and this year they followed up with another Sundance darling, Cha-Cha Real Smooth. Cooper Raiff, you son of a bitch. You live my life. I want your life. This is a movie about a kid that maybe has a thing for a bit of an older woman. Definitely has a thing for an older woman. And just sort of very slice of life. Very old school mumblecore, like almost. Except this movie is not mumblecore, and that's a good thing. I don't love mumblecore. Cooper Raiff is incredible. His direction is great. His writing, though. Cooper Raiff is such a supremely talented writer that it's insane. He weaves these characters in and out with such expertise, and to get a bit of personal, Vanessa Bugart, one of the supporting actresses in this movie. Everyone raves about Dakota Johnson. Yeah, she's great, but Vanessa's performance was special to me. As an autistic man, to see an autistic character portrayed by an autistic actress that isn't just some fucking savant, but is a human being with ambition and desires and dreams, and it's just a kid. I remember there's a scene in this where she says sometimes she just wants to get away from it all, and it resonated with me here. It was a very faithful, fair depiction of autism. One of the best depictions of autism I have ever seen in a movie. And Vanessa Bugart brings her whole heart and soul into it. I am so ecstatic to have seen this movie. I'm glad movies like this exist. Cooper Raiff, thank you. I understand it was a character piece about the character you play. And that stuff's great. But what made this movie special was Vanessa Bugart, and that is why it is my 15th favorite movie of the year.
We met at the club. Right.
Bros! It's my 14th favorite movie of the year. We thankfully do have a podcast about this one, so if you really want to hear me go in depth, you can watch that one, but just to keep it short, it's a studio rom-com about a gay couple, and it is very, 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 very gay. This movie is so gay. The comedy is gay. The writing is gay. The love is gay. Gay, 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 gay. And it was really cool to see that from a big budget studio rom-com. It's very authentic to the gay experience. It feels very faithful to what gay love is. I'm a queer man. I'm a bisexual man. And Billy Eichner, who penned the screenplay, really brought a lot to this. His lead performance is great. It instantly becomes a rom-com canon classic. It deserves to be up there with the When Harry Met Sally's or the You Got Mails of the world. It's a fantastic rom-com that is so funny. This movie was the hardest I laughed at a movie all year.
Think about You've Got Mail. Meg Ryan would never send you a picture of her genitalia.
Haha, lol. Can I see your ass?
Don't have ass pic, sorry.
Need to see ass pic though.
Don't have ass pic.
Not gonna meet up unless you send ass pic. Must see pic of ass.
Sorry, Weird Al. Sorry, Unbearable Weight. Sorry to all those other ones. But if you want a movie that just made me laugh until I couldn't breathe, it was Bros. So funny. I can't recommend it enough. And that is why it is my 14th favorite movie of the year. White Noise is my 13th favorite film of the year. Noah Baumbach, man. This man's Netflix era has been nothing but straight fire. First you get the Meyerowitz Stories, which is just a fantastic, incredible film. Then you get Marriage Story, which was my favorite movie of 2019.
Every day I wake up fucking insane!
Get White Noise. While White Noise isn't as good as Marriage Story, I don't like it as much as Marriage Story. Marriage Story was special to me. This is still an incredible movie. Adam Driver is so good in it. Greta Gerwig, so good in it. They're both so great in it. The entire cast is so great in it. And it's really a, first off, funny movie. And an exploration of death. The fear of death. What the fear of death can do to a person. And I've had some fear of death lately. Just something about it lately has made me afraid of the idea of dying and no longer residing on this mortal coil. And what does that mean? What will I miss? And I think this movie taps into that fear really well, especially given the source material, which is apparently damn near unadaptable. So the fact that this movie manages to capture it so accurately is really special, while also being very funny. There are some very funny things that happen in this movie.
I'd appreciate it if you didn't mention these lessons to anyone. You probably don't know, but I may be one of the most prominent figures in Hitler studies in North America.
But at the end of the day, it's just another Noah Baumbach banger. The screenplay is incredible. One of the best screenplays of the year, really. And I'm so glad to have seen it, and I can't recommend it enough. And that is why it is my 13th favorite movie of the year. Nope is my 12th favorite movie of the year and my favorite horror movie of the year. Jordan Peele, you son of a bitch, you've done it again. Get Out was a instant classic, a surefire, holy shit, you need to see this deeply important movie. Us, a bit of a sophomore slump, bit messier, but still really fun. Nope. Spielbergian. It's a horror blockbuster in all the best ways. It's deeply terrifying but incredibly thrilling, and that shot at the end with OJ on the horse is just one of the best shots in a movie ever. Incredibly thrilling. You want to talk about great hero shots? That's a great hero shot in a year full of great hero shots. It taps into some real primal fear, and it gets under your skin, and it gets under my skin. I'm able to, I elaborate on this more in our episode on Nope, so if you really want to hear me go in depth, I recommend you watch that, but it's really just a great movie. Daniel Kaluuya, great. Keke Palmer, great. The entire cast, great. The cinematography, gorgeous. The sound design is to die for. It's so good. Some of the way the screams are mixed in this movie, they are bone-chilling thinking about them right now. I am so glad I saw it in IMAX. It's such a great movie. I can't recommend it enough, and that is why it is my 12th favorite movie of the year. Turning Red is my 11th favorite movie of the year, the last cut out of my top 10, and really broke my heart because I love Turning Red. It's a special movie. It's about a mother and a daughter. It's funny. It's incredibly well animated. It's one of Pixar's best, honestly. And in most years, this would be a surefire top 5 movie, let alone top 10. And yet, in a year like this one, it only makes 11th. It breaks my heart that it can't be in my top 10, but the 10 ahead of it, I really did just like a little more. The voice acting's incredible. The animation's incredible. It's a great movie. Pixar should have released this one in theaters. Why the hell did you release Lightyear? Not that Lightyear's bad. It's fine. But what the hell, guys? Turning Red is fantastic. It's funny. It is so funny. It's incredibly well written. It is easily one of the best screenplays of the year. Which is crazy, because in a year full of original screenplays, I barely make my top 5 original, but it's really great. I can't recommend it enough. And that's why Turning Red is my 11th favorite movie of the year. Alright, that's 20 movies down, 10 to go. Before we get into our top 10, I'm actually going to take a little break here. And here's a word from our sponsors, whatever YouTube puts here. See you in a second.
My son,
Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio is my 10th favorite movie of the year. Del Toro's one of my favorite filmmakers. I mean, The Shape of Water, Hellboy, Crimson Peaks, I mean... He's such a talented, incredible filmmaker, and this movie is one he's been trying to make for 15 years, and you can tell because the passion shoots out at every turn. It's my favorite animated movie of the year. It's so gorgeously well animated. The models here, the stop motion work is just off the charts great. The performances all around are great, and I love the twists they make to the formula here. In most adaptations of Pinocchio, the movie's kind of about Pinocchio learning how to be a real boy, and that's still the focus here. It's about Pinocchio's journey, but I really felt like the emotional core of the movie was Geppetto learning how to love him as a son, even if he's not perfect, and how he's just grateful to be a father again. And I found that incredibly powerful and moving. There are some changes to the story here, especially at the end, that I'm not going to spoil, but I think they actually make the story for the better. There are a couple of weird things. There's a couple of weird pacing things, I won't lie, but at the end of the day, the emotional core of this movie is so strong. The passion is so incredible. And it's just one of the greatest adaptations of a classic story ever told. I love Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. It is so good. And that is why it is my 10th favorite movie of the year. Disney Channel's theme, A History Mystery, is my 9th favorite movie of the year. Now, I know what you're thinking. Tanner, that's a YouTube video. And you're right. I still consider it a documentary, though, because it is one. It interviews people. It goes into a deep dive on a certain subject. And it is one of the most rewatchable documentaries I've ever seen in my life. I've watched this movie 4 times already. I rarely watch documentaries more than twice, only because... yes, they're great, but they aren't the most eminently watchable movies out there. They're dense, they're heavy, they're dumping information on you. Very few documentaries are able to get over that because they're heavy. That's just the nature of the game. Even fluffier documentaries are heavier just because, by the very nature of them, they're dumping info on you. The Disney Channel theme of History Mystery seems to rise above that, despite the fact that it's a mystery. Once you've seen it, you already know how it ends. And yet, it's paced like a blockbuster in a lot of ways. Kevin Perger, the thing he does editing-wise with this movie is insane. I don't know how he's managed to make this movie so eminently watchable that I'm still on the edge of my seat, even though I know this movie's going to tell me who made this damn theme. And it's also just an incredible celebration of the unsung artists out there. You know, the jingle writers, the corporate art designers, the graphic designers for your local marketing firm. The unsung artists, because these people are making art. And art is art, and maybe it's not perceived as importantly as a real big artistic piece is, but it's still art, and these works deserve to be celebrated. As this movie put it best, many of us would be fortunate, blessed even, to be remembered for one note, and how incredible is it that the composer of the Disney Channel theme is remembered for 4. And that is why it's my 9th favorite movie of the year. Glass Onion, A Knives Out Mystery is my 8th favorite movie of the year. We just had an episode on this one drop. At least it should have just dropped as I'm releasing this video. So if you want to hear me get really in depth in that one with a bad southern accent, I recommend you watch that. But what can I say? It's great whodunit. The writing's impeccable. It's the best adapted screenplay of the year. Adapted because it's pre-existing characters. Not everyone gets that, but it is an adapted screenplay. Thank you. Daniel Craig is just as great. Janelle Monáe is great. The entire cast is great. It's funny. And like I was kind of alluding to earlier, it really eschews the wealthy and the elitist class in a great way, in a very satisfying way. It's very funny. It's very thrilling. It's a great conventional small-scale blockbuster. Because it's really just people talking at the end of the day with the occasional interesting thing happening. But at the end of the day, this is a movie full of people talking to each other. And that's really a strength of the writing. Rian Johnson is such a gifted writer. And a fantastic director too, don't get me wrong. But his writing is, I think, his true God-given talent. And it shows here because it's a mile-a-minute dialogue. It's always entertaining. It never bores you. It's great whodunit. Every twist, every turn has me on the edge of your seat, and I'm just like, I can't recommend it enough. I'm so glad I got to see it in theaters when it had that little 1-week run. And that is why it is my 8th favorite movie of the year. The Banshees of Inisherin is my 7th favorite movie of the year. How the hell can a movie make you laugh your ass off and also make you want to cry your eyes out in such intense directions both ways? This is a deeply, darkly funny movie and also a deeply depressing movie about a man that decides one day he just doesn't want to be friends with someone anymore. And let me tell you, I have slight personal experience in that field, so this one was kind of extra funny and extra sad because of that. Martin McDowell, I totally said his name wrong. Sorry. This is my favorite movie of yours. This is probably your best screenplay. Your direction here is impeccable. The direction here is what's really special to me. It's very showy. It has a lot of great little moments, little character interactions. You've directed your actors to perfection here. And Colin Farrell, Brendan Gleeson, Barry Keoghan, all deliver. And Carrie Condon, how can I forget about her? Oh my god. The 4 main performances in this movie are incredible.
Just thought I'd ask on the off chance, you know, like faint heart and that. There goes that dream.
But even the smaller parts have incredible performances too. It's funny. It's thought-provoking. It's sad. It's everything you want in your big Oscar movie, even though it's a pretty small movie. It's a heckin' great movie. It's feckin' great. And glad I saw it in theaters. It's gorgeous. And that is why it is my 7th favorite movie of the year. Tar is my 6th favorite movie of the year. Alright, Todd Field, you just stop making movies for almost 20 years, and then you come back with something that is a bit of a COVID movie. The pandemic is explicitly referenced here, and not only do you come back beautifully, you come back giving what is maybe the best performance in Cate Blanchett's extraordinary, illustrious career with an incredible screenplay, and I can't get this movie out of my head. The direction of this movie is divine. Yeah, the screenplay's great, but the direction is what makes it special. It feels so intricately, tightly wounded, like a big tight ball of string. This portrait of a woman who's at her end, in a career sense, whose history of bad mistakes and horrible behavior is finally catching up to her, and what that looks like, and the psychological toll it all takes. It's an intimate character portrait that feels like a biopic for a woman that doesn't even exist. Lydia Tarr feels like a real woman that's always existed, and this actually happened this year. It's crazy. What Todd Field and Cate Blanchett accomplished here is nothing short of incredible. It's hard to talk about, but it gets lodged inside your brain, and it just won't leave no matter what you do. And that is why it is my 6th favorite movie of the year. Top Gun Maverick is my 5th favorite movie of the year. That is right, ladies and gentlemen, we are now in our top 5. Wow, and what a movie this is. I like the original Top Gun quite a bit. It's fun. It's exciting. It's a great blockbuster. Top Gun Maverick feels like an old school blockbuster made with 2022 budgets and technical capabilities, while also being the culmination of the 30 plus years of Tom Cruise as a producer. The action aerial photography in this movie is some of the most mind-blowing, stunning, breathtaking action sequences, set pieces ever done in a film. It's like 80s. It's honestly feels like an 80s blockbuster in the best sense. It feels like the type of movie they don't make anymore, where it's just, its purpose is to entertain. It's not to make you cry, though it does make me cry. It's not to necessarily make you laugh, but it does make me laugh. It's trying to make your blood pump, the adrenaline flood throughout your body as you have these sweaty palms and you're on the edge of your seat and you're just being taken away by the pure spectacle of it all. Tom Cruise is great in this. The entire cast is great in this. The cinematography, insane. The sound design. This is my favorite sound design for a movie all year. A lot of people speak of Nope, but for me, because every single noise these planes make are done completely in post, and yet if you told me, I would have believed that they just stuck a camera out there and recorded some planes for a few hours. It feels like this happened. It feels real. Is it military propaganda? Yeah, duh. But damn, it's some fine, good military propaganda that I got to see in proper IMAX. And, well, as the original movie put it, and that is why it is my 5th favorite movie of 2022. Babylon is my 4th favorite movie of the year, and I'm quite frankly shocked it was. I didn't like First Man that much. I thought it was fine. Okay. La La Land I thought was a bit overhyped, but I did love Whiplash. So Damien Chazelle was on a bit of a cold streak for me lately, and this one looked too big, too gross, too overstuffed, too messy, whatever. But I was still somewhat excited to see it, despite the 3-hour runtime. Yeesh. And then I saw it, and it's beautiful, gross, overstuffed, messy, self-indulgent, patronizing, and yet beautiful, clean, organized, divine, earned, meaningful. It's a film of multitudes. It's a film of contradictions. It's beautiful. It's gross. It's clean. It's messy. It's everything. Damien Chazelle has crafted a movie that is a beautiful portrait to the movies and the magic of them, and a stunning indictment of the industry that destroys the people that make them. Every performance, Diego Calva, Margot Robbie, Flea, every performance here is incredible. The direction is incredible. The screenplay is incredible. The score is one of my all-time favorite music scores. That, you know, you're probably hearing it in the background right now if I'm editing this video correctly. It's so good. So good. Damien Chazelle has really won me back with this one. I understand it's divisive. I understand it's not for everyone. But this worked for me, and it has, like, top 5 movie ending ever for me. I love this movie. I can't recommend it enough. So glad I saw it in theaters, especially because it seems like it's me and only 7 other people in the world that bothered. But it's so good. So good. And that is why it's my 4th favorite movie of the year. RRR is my 3rd favorite movie of the year. This was the year of 3-hour movies, huh? What a picture. Ram Charan and the rest of the cast is incredible, but Ram Charan was a standout to me. We have a podcast on this one, so you can go check that out. They really hear my thoughts in depth, but wow. India, if they keep getting budgets like this movie has, they're going to outclass us in blockbusters soon enough, because you know what they have that we have? A shocking lack of sincerity, a lack of non-irony. I meant to say a lack of irony, but you get what I mean. It's sincere. You know what? It's funny. It is action-packed. It has musical and dance numbers. It has comedy that you can die for. And it's played 100% straight despite the over-the-top nature of it all. And boy, every set piece in this movie blows your mind. And you keep saying to yourself, wow, that might be the greatest set piece I've seen in a movie ever. Surely it can't top this. And then it does. And then it finds a way to top it. What the frick is this movie on? I'm stunned, honestly, just thinking about it. I want to plop it on and watch it right now. It's such a watchable movie. I could watch it even without subtitles. If I didn't understand a damn thing that was going on, I would still love it because the visual storytelling here is incredible. SS Rajamouli and his entire team here has crafted a blockbuster that ranks among the greatest of all times from any country. It's a stunning achievement. Not to for Best Song at the Oscars, please God. I can't recommend it enough. I really wish I saw it in theaters. And that is why it is my third favorite movie of the year. The Fable Men is my second favorite movie of the year. And maybe my favorite Steven Spielberg movie. Yeah, it's indulgent. It's an autobiographic, basically. It's heavily inspired by Steven Spielberg's actual life. But man, what a childhood he had that was filled with twists, turns, heartbreaking moments, heartwarming moments, with some of the most gorgeous cinematography in any movie this year. Honestly, the most gorgeous cinematography. A fantastic John Williams score and performances that all around the board killed. Judd Hirsch is incredible in his scene in this. Paul Dano delivers what I think is the best performance of his entire career here. Michelle Williams with a movie performance that should be a Best Supporting Actress winner, but unfortunately being campaigned and lead might cost her a trophy here. Gabrielle LaBelle basically playing Spielberg here, and wow, he has to juggle a lot, and he nails it. This is less a movie about movies and more a movie about a kid that loves movies. And as someone who is a kid that loves movies, that was special. It's fantastic. Spielberg has crafted something here that resonates with me deeply. There's a scene in this movie, it's in the trailer, where Paul Dano's character, the father, says to Sammy Fableman, you know, it's not enough to love something, you also have to take care of it. It's more important than your hobby. And Sammy responds with, can you stop calling it a hobby? That cut me here in a way that I didn't even realize. People don't take your film seriously until you've really made it. It's a hobby. It's a joke. It's a dead-end career. And yet this movie shows how magical it can be, how important it is, and how fulfilling it can be. Spielberg has essentially made what is the ultimate celebration of what he stands for as a filmmaker and what his career has represented up until this point. He has more movies in him, but this was a hell of a capper. This, if I could only let someone watch a single Steven Spielberg movie, I think I'd tell them to watch this one. And that's why it's my second favorite movie of the year.
This is a life.
Everything, everywhere, all at once is my favorite movie of 2022, and quite frankly, my favorite movie of all time. Yes, it's only been out for a year. How can I possibly know that? Because I just know, okay? Sometimes you watch movies and you can instantly recognize how special they are. And this one's special. It feels like it was designed in a lab for me. Random, off-the-wall, oddball humor that is sometimes sexual, but also a movie about a family. A movie about a family that loves each other. A dad that rocks. Multiversal sci-fi elements, but ultimately, at the end of the day, it's a small story about a woman who loves her daughter and needs to gain confidence in herself, needs to reach her ultimate potential. It's a lot. It's everything everywhere all at once, but we have a podcast on it, so if you really want to hear me rant about this one, you can find that. But there's so much here I could quote. You know, in another life, I would have been just happy doing laundry and taxes with you. or this sense of true nihilism, which, yeah, sure, nothing matters. So everything matters. If nothing matters if nothing is actually deemed important in the universe, then what is important is what you make of it, is what you find beautiful and meaningful and important. And it's also a movie where we say, hey, just be kind to each other, especially when we don't know what's going on. I feel like I could rant for hours. Everything Everywhere All at Once is a special movie, and I didn't even get into the incredible action scenes led by Michelle Yeoh, who is just an industry legend at this point, one of the greatest action actresses of all time, finally given a movie that really shows off her range. She can be funny, she can be sad, she can be despondent, she can be isolated, she can be everything, everywhere all at once. Stephanie Hsu breaking onto the scene with this jaw-dropping performance. Oh, Jamie Lee Curtis, an industry veteran, given a chance in this silly little movie, who's honestly been a big reason why it's been getting this Oscar push. Ki-Wa Kwan, short round, disappeared from acting for 20 years. This is his first movie back, and what does he do? Deliver a performance that any actor would have been honored to give. This is a special movie. It's meaningful. It's about family. It's about finding the beauty in nothingness. And why, if nothing matters, then you get to decide what matters. It's not negativity, it's true nihilism. It puts control of the life you live in your hands. Future's up to us. What we do with it is up to us. What we do with this limited time we have on this rock is up to us. We need to make the most of it. We need to love ourselves. We need to love each other. We need to find strength in one another. And we need to understand that it's important to be kind. It's important to not pass on the trauma of your childhood as best you can, and it's important to care and be there for your loved ones. It's about a lot of things. I could really rant for 20 more minutes here, but I'll stop. Everything Everywhere All at Once is a special movie. It's my favorite movie of the year. It's probably my favorite movie ever. And that's why the number one movie of 2022. And there you have it. My top 30 movies of the year. What a year it was, huh? Lots of great picks. I really feel like I couldn't have gone wrong. I love this movie list. I love the year we've had this year. It's been special. That's my top 30 movies of 2022. What a special year it's been for movies. What a wide variety. Got some animated, some documentaries, some funny movies, some sad movies, and movies that are a bit of everything. Everywhere all at once. Hi, this is Tanner from the future, realizing I forgot to say something very crucial, which was to thank my good friend Jorge Canero, who once again this year designed the custom-made posters you see in the corner of the screen throughout the video, indicating what movie we're talking about and where its ranking is. He's such an incredibly talented graphic designer. Please go follow his poster Instagram. He posts a lot of his stuff over there. He's so talented. He is so good at this, and I am totally thrilled and incredibly honored to have collaborated with him on this again this year. So thank you so much, Jorge. Please go follow him. You won't regret it. So, thank you so very much for watching this video. Making this video is special to me every year. It's a big pet project for me. And I really appreciate you watching and listening to me spout my silly little opinions. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, and go ahead and comment below. And I want to know, what's your favorite movie of the year? Please tell me. I want to know. What is your favorite movie of 2022? I would love to know. Comment below and let me know. Thank you all so very much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.
slid my ticket across the table and I said, sorry guys, I gotta see about a girl.